Okay, so let me explain to you about SDG 6 and 7. 6 and 7 is all about clean water and sanitation, and then you have 7, which is about affordable clean water. No, affordable clean energy, I should say. I think maybe you could say that you don't have insufficient clean water because it's not really a problem in Bahrain, but looking at the global context, this is so important and it could affect us in so many ways. Okay, so let us continue. So here we're going to discuss the overview of 6 and 7. There are a lot of challenges, global challenges about water scarcity and energy poverty. And then you have some case studies in Canada. And of course, the solutions that we need to come up and call to actions. And here we could see here the connections between SDGs. If you see here, SDG 6 has something to do or connected with health. For example, if you don't have access to clean water, then that fuels the poor health of the people. In other words, that if you don't have access of clean water, then there's a chance that you got all the sickness or the illnesses. And similarly, the clean energy, which is in SDG 7, is connected to industry because the industry needs a lot of energy, just like your, for example, desalination plant. You have the desalination plant here in Bahrain, which is really in need of energy. And of course, 6 and 7 is also connected to climate. As we all know that, for example, renewable energy, these are energies coming from the sun. For example, solar energy. This protects or this helps in protecting the environment. If you're going to continue the energy that you're going to use, like the fossil fuel, it could harm the environment in a way that you continuously releasing a lot of toxin or carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that creates a lot of pollution. It's not good too, and that yeah, that's not good to the environment. That lead to like increase of the temperature, that lead to increase or like the hotness of the earth. And of course, 6 and 7 is also is connected to poverty. When you're poor, you don't have access to the basic health services, right? Okay, so we see around the globe, like there are a lot of people, 2 billion people, lack of safe drinking water. They are also they are also uh, in energy poverty. That means, for example, here 759 million people lack of access to electricity. And this water and energy are really critical for health, education, and a lot of aspects in our life. So this is how we look at in the perspective of the globe. And so you can see there are around 3.6 billion lack of safe sanitation in the world, 2.3 billion lack of basic hygiene, and you have also 40% face water scarcity. And that is why during the time of COVID, the spread of a virus is growing so fast. Spread virus because of the school hygiene crisis, like 818 million of children lacked hand washing facilities. There are also like 1 in 4 health facilities, like hospital, 1 in 4 facilities do not have basic water services. And there are some cases like in the Philippines that the need of water access is is responded through the help of the international labor organization. In Canada, the water access is has also a problem because, as we were saying, Canada is being chosen as one of our cases under advisories like boiling water. It is one method of purification of water, like filtering process. So this is one of the uh, crisis in Canada which we would like to addressed through this SDG. And there are some like advisories in terms of like the long-term drinking water availabilities, and then shocking disparity in terms of the life expectancy between two places like Hamilton and Ontario. So you have like around 23 years gap. So this has something to do with the inaccessibility of the basic water services. So in Canada, the target is to resolve all long-term drinking water advisories, the problem which we have just mentioned earlier, and then comprehensive water quality monitoring. You need to monitor, like for example, the source of your water, like in rivers, like in some other places, like for example, if your river could be used to source of water, you'd come up with a dam for water distribution or water system. And there's a need for investment, of course. Like your desalination plant here, Barin, needs a lot of investment. Otherwise, if you are into the poverty line, that would be like difficult to come up with an investment, like when you are in a poor country. So it's really a challenge, and that's why one of the targets of Canada is to come up with this. Yeah, because for we already have also the capacity to do it. Of course, policy reforms to need to be done. So as you see around the globe, there are like less countries are in operational arrangement in terms of water cooperation, water system distribution, and only like 15%, and there are two, I should say 15% has or is lacking of requirements in terms of the water cooperation. So we say water distribution. So the solutions are to integrate water resource management. It has something to do with consideration of, for example, distribution of water needs to different stakeholders. Then you have the wetland restoration. This could be like, as you see this picture, I don't know if there's like this in Bahrain, but this is one solution that could address the need to address the need of the water accessibility in some other countries, by which the natural groundwater, if it's going to be like preserved, like to be controlled against, let's say, pollution, could be a good source also for water distribution. And then most importantly is the community engagement. Engagement of each citizen is so relevant. So that's why in transition to SDG 7, which is clean energy, the clean water needs energy. For you to come up with the processes of your clean water, like desalination, takes a lot of energy. Even in the energy production, it uses water in all our like manufacturing, different manufacturing industries need a lot of water. Then the sustainable solutions with which could be integrated along, or that could be a benefit for different sectors, like the sustainable solutions in clean energy and clean water. As you see here, there are just more than like 50% source of energy is coming from coal. Natural gas is here more than also, like it's more than also 15%. No, 50% I should say. Here is the oil. Less about nuclear, because of course nuclear is a dangerous source, and you have some renewables like solar source of energy and everything. It's very evident across the globe, like there are a lot of people, for 71 million people to be precise, Africans lack of access to electricity. Think about it. And urban energy challenges, where you have the access, but then your source of electricity is like not so reliable. There would be like frequent power interruptions. In some other countries, like every Saturday is going to be like there's a blackout or power interruption because of some maintenance needs. Okay, maintenance needs to perform. And there's the cooking dependency with the use of wood or charcoal. It's easier to do this one when you're camping, but of course to do it every day of your life is not so likable. Alright, so the energy access was interrupted during the COVID-19. There was a steady improvement in global energy access, but in the pandemic there was a disruption. Okay, and renewable was again slowed down because of some prices of fossil like decreases the fossil fuel prices, and then it slows down the renewable adoption. So in Canada, the target is to increase the renewable electricity generation, like increasing the source of, for example, here in Bahrain, renewable source of energy is solar. That is appropriate for countries in Middle East, but in Canada, it's more like hydropower. So they have the target to increase in as much as 90% by 2030, and then reduce energy consumption per capita. For example, there are now new technologies that reduces energy consumption. You have inverter type of AC, you have the LED, fluorescent. These are helpful technology that reduces energy consumption, and this is through the research and development. Renewable source of energy are made or are product of research and development as well, just like your mobile phones. Those are all technologies that are result of the research and development, which is good for everyone. And you see here the different renewable energy progress. You can just check it in your slides. So there's the gap between the two lines. This one is our target, and this one is the actual energy efficiency achievement. So just go through the slides, and you're looking at the renewable energy in Canada, but that you see the majority is hydropower. This is renewable source of energy, because of course solar power source is not like so is appropriate in Canada, where the, the availability of the the energy coming from the sun is not reliable. So this is the case. So you have here the hydropower. This is natural gas. This is nuclear, and this one is wind. This is solar and other sources. And then the solutions is to expand the solar source. You could have a microgrid development, like just like here in Bahrain. For example, the solar panel in Campus B in Bahrain Polytechnic is an example of this microgrid development. Some other countries are using it. Phase out fossil fuel subsidies, and try to focus or improve on the support for some renewable energy source, and then promote clean cooking and energy storage solutions. Call to action, of course, the government has to come up with the policies aligned to this DG. This is very basic. Otherwise, even if you have like strong will to perform or to undertake sustainable development solutions, it would be difficult if the government do not have policies in place. Corporations has to invest as well, aligned to the government. Communities, the local advocacies for each and everyone, individuals are so important. And of course, for policy recommendations to government, prioritize indigenous water rights, that's in Canada, and implementing carbon pricing to incentivize renewables. So there's like some incentives if you're going to adapt certain processes towards sustainable energy solutions. Example of this one is the use of solar panel. So there are also some technology that is very helpful in achieving this goal. And of course, the community actions, like engaging with the municipal government as individual, as citizens. It's important to engage in the plan or in the policies of the government, or just be a law-abiding citizen is already a big factor to engage yourselves in the community or the government. That's like supporting. The support of the community has a very important role in the government's goals. So of course there are some obstacles: political inertia, climate-driven water scarcity, and some funding issues related to the least developed countries like those who are into poverty, countries into poverty, or the third world countries. I want you to read this case, and this would help you in your analysis for SDG 6 and 7, and try to answer these questions. Okay, if you have like some queries, then we can just discuss it during our next meeting. Thank you.